Good morning. So we are going to tackle about the nomenclature of your organic compound, particularly your hydrocarbon. First is your alkanes. So in this slide, we are to see uses a UPAC system of nomenclature, which is the systemic way of naming organic compound. Pag sinabing IUPAC, that is your International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It consists of three parts. So we have here your prefix is the first, your stem, and your suffix. Okay? Next is, okay, wait lang. Ayan. So the stem, it indicates the number of carbon atoms in the backbone or your parent chain of the molecule. Kapag isang number of carbon atom, that is your met. Pag dalawa, that is your et, tatlo, prop, apat, but, lima, pent, anim, hex. 7 is your hep, 8 is your op, yan, 10 tuloy-tuloy na yan. 10 is dec, 11 is undec, 12 is dodec, 13 is tridec. It depends upon your parent, di ba? Yung last niya is, it depends upon the number of your carbon. Okay? Pag 15 is your pentadec. Pag 20 is your icos. Pag 21 is your henicos. Pag 22 is your docos. And then last is your triacon. Tandaan, prefix, stem, and suffix. Okay? Pag sinabi nating stem, that is your yung number of carbon atom. Okay, prefix. Pag sinabi naman natin prefix, that is your side chain or substituents attached to the backbone or parent chain. So, in alkanes, in your first hydrocarbon, it is called as your alkyl group. Okay? Pag sinabi natin alkyl group, the partial structure that remains when hydrogen atom is removed from an alkane are named by replacing the ane ending of the parent alkane with an -il ending. For example, you are going to, pag sinabing naging side chain si methyl or si methane, gagawin natin, tanggalan natin ng ane, palit natin si -il para maging methyl. Di ba? And alkyl groups are generated by removing a hydrogen from an end carbon. Branched alkyl groups are generated by removing a hydrogen from an atom from an internal carbon. Okay. Yan. Pag isa, met, di ba? Pero pag alkyl, isa, met, dagdagan mo ng what? Il. Ganun din, ethyl, even your prop, tatlo, prop, propane sana, tanggalan mo kasi naging side chain, tanggal mo yung ane, dagdag mo is il. Okay? But, we have here your isomer. Yun, isomer, same number of, what? Same number of carbon but differs in the structure. So, meron tayo dito isopropyl, butyl, isobutyl, secondary butyl, tertiary butyl, your isopentyl, your neopentyl. Yan. Suffix naman. So, first, diba, sinabi, prefix, stem, and your suffix. Last, in naming. So, suffix indicates the type of or class of the compound. For alkane, it is ane. Okay. Naming branch chain alkanes. First, you're going to find the parent hydrocarbon. So, natapos na natin to. Okay? Reviewin nyo na lang. Next, yan. Okay? Writing structural formula. So, in writing structural formula, so yung diniscuss ko kanina, that is just a review. Kasi natapos naman natin noong regular class natin dati. So, writing structural formula. So, number 1 is look at the parent name and draw its carbon structure. Next, find the substituents and place them on the proper carbons. Number 3 is add hydrogens to complete the structure. Okay. So, paano yan, sir? Tignan natin. Okay, we have here also your isomerism. So, first, your isomerism. In your isomerism is your definition. So, meron siyang same molecular formula but different structural formula. Okay, pag sinabing molecular formula, same yung molecules na present. Okay, did you get that? Same yung molecules na present. Like in the case of your, tignan natin, in the case of your propyl and your isopropyl. Tignan nyo. Your propyl has C3H7, di ba? That is your molecular formula of your propyl. Tignan natin yung isopropyl. Your isopropyl has also the same with your propyl in molecular formula. Tignan nyo, C3H7. Tignan natin sa isopropyl. Ilan ang carbon? 1, diba? Isa, dalawa, yan, then tatlo. Okay, tatlo din, di ba? Tatlo din ang carbon. How about the hydrogen, sir? So, tignan natin kung 7. Sa propyl, there are 7. What? 7 hydrogen. Let's see here in your isopropyl if it is 7. Para ang tawag dito, ma-prove natin yung sinasabi ng isomerism. So, we have 3 here, plus 3 here, plus 1. So, how many is that? So, that is 7. So, same ang sinabi. Okay? So, wait lang. Yan. So, same molecular formula but different structure formula. So, your isomerism starts at butane. Okay? Bakit, sir, butane? Kanina man naman is propyl, sir. Bakit? Kasi kanina, that is your alkyl group. Ngayon, it is pertaining to your hydrocarbon. Okay, so yung isomerism daw starts sa butane. Prove natin. Tignan nyo. C4H10. And butane is C4H10. So, ilan ang carbon? Ilan ang carbon? So, we have here 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, we have here 4 carbons. Yan, 4. 4. Okay? 4 na carbon yan. Okay. So, pag 4, that is your diba? Butane. So, dito, parent chain is your butane. Okay, ilan ang hydrogen, sir? So, meron tayo dito, ilan? 3, 2, 2, 3. Ilan yan? 6, 10. So, we have here C4H10. Okay, tignan naman natin the isomer or your isobutane or your 2-methyl propane. Bakit, sir, 2-methylpropane? Because 1, 2, 3, ang connection is your nasa second carbon. Anong nakakonect na alkyl group? That is your what? That is your methyl. Kasi isang carbon lang. So, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, sir. Bakit siya isomer ni butane? Okay, bakit siya isomer ni butane, sir? Okay, so we have here, ang sabi niya, same molecular formula, but different structural formula. So, they just differ in their structural formula. So, ilan? Dapat C4H10 din siya. Kasi same ang molecular formula sabi. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat din ang carbon. So, check. And then, we have here 3, 6, 9. And then, may isang, what? Isang hydrogen pa dun, so that is 10. Okay? Ayan. Next tayo. Next is your yan. As the number of carbon atoms increases, number of isomers also increases. So, we have here the case of your pentane. So, kanina, on your butane, we have just one isomer there. So, we have just one isomer there. Yun yung 2-methylpropane or your isobutane. Next is your pentane. Okay. Pag sinabi naman nating pentane, so pag pentane, it contains of your, ilang carbon ang meron? That is your 5 carbon. Diba? 5 carbon ang meron doon. Okay. So, the molecular formula of your pentane is what? C5H12. Okay? C5H12. Okay. The first isomer is your 2-methylbutane or your isopentane. Diba? Naintindihan nyo? Okay, so 2-methylbutane or isopentane. Una. So, let's see kung totoong same ba ang molecular formula but differs in structural formula. So, of course, yung isa doon, nung isa doon sa na-connect na carbon, doon sa carbon number 4, naging connection na siya ng carbon number 3. Diba? Carbon number 3. Diba? Parang ganon. So, we have here 2-methylbutane or isopentane. So, saan na nakakonect si methyl? Saan na napunta yung isang methyl? Napunta kay 2-methylbutane. Paano pagbilang, sir? Bakit 2, hindi 3? Kasi ang sabi niya, di ba, sabi sa nomenclature, dapat doon sa lowest possible number. So, whether 2-methylbutane or your isopentane, so tignan natin, ilan ang carbon doon sa 2-methylbutane? That is your 1. Ilan ang carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 din, di ba? Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Di ba? 5 carbon yon. So, that is correct. 5 yung carbon eh. So, correct na yon. Correct na yung carbon natin. Tignan natin naman your hydrogen kung 12. Same as true with the N-pentane dati. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 11, and then 12. Diba? So, paano natin nakuha yun? Tignan mo lang yung number of your hydrogen. Diba? Number of your hydrogen. Okay, so correct tayo. Correct. So, napatunayan natin na ang 2-methylbutane is an isomer of your N-pentane. Next is your 2,2-dimethylpropane or neopentane. Tignan natin kung isomer din siya ng pentane. So, let's see the number of carbon. Ilan ba ang number of carbon na present? So, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 din, di ba? Okay, so that proves na may 5 carbon, same as true with your N-pentane. Okay, tignan natin kung parehas ang number of your hydrogen. Tignan natin. 1, 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 din. So, ang molecular formula of your N-pentane, 2-methylbutane, isopentane, your 2,2-dimethylpropane or neopentane is C5H12 but differs in your structural formula. Gets niyo yun? Okay, sana nai-gets ha? Wait. Yan. Next is your, okay. Sige. So, ilan kanina ang isomer ni pentane? Ilan na ang isomer ni pentane? So, meron tayong dalawa. Diba? Dalawang isomer ni pentane. So, si hexane, ilan naman tayo? So, kanina is dalawa. Sa hexane, meron na tayong 4. So, that proves also na sinasabi nila as the number of carbon increases, the number of isomer also increases. Diba? So, hexane, ilan na yung carbon? Kanina, C5. C5 kanina, so, mayroon tayong dalawa. Ngayon, C6, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 na isomers. So, ano yung chemical formula or your molecular formula of your hexane? So, you have there your C6H14. So, meron tayong 6 na carbon, tsaka 14 na hydrogen. Okay, so let's see your N-hexane. Okay, so of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So, pag 6 is your hex, di ba? Ilan na hex mo? Joke lang. Okay. Next is your 2-methylpentane. Tignan natin kung ilan yung carbon. Kung ilan yung carbon ni 2-methylpentane. So, tignan natin. So, let's bilang. Magbilang tayo. Bilang tayo. So, yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6. Pasensyahan nyo na yung dot ni sir. Okay, 6. Tama. Okay, so 6. 6. So, tama si carbon. 6 din. So, si hydrogen naman tayo. Hydrogen, of course. 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14. So, also, your 2-methylpentane is one of the isomer of your hexane. Okay, tignan din natin 3-methylpentane. So, nagbaliw lang DJ. Nagsabali lang DJ position of your methyl group. So, 3-methylpentane from 2 to 3-methylpentane. So, tignan natin. You evaluate. Okay? As you can see, meron din siyang 6, of course. Then, as you count the number of hydrogens also, meron siyang 14. Okay? Even your 2,3-dimethyl butane. Sir, bakit 2,3? Kasi yung positioning ng alkyl groups niya is on number 2 and number 3. Sir, bakit butane? Look at the parent chain. Okay? 2,3-dimethyl butane. Tignan nyo. 6 din ba ang carbon? So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 din. 6 din. Ilan naman yung hydrogen? So, meron siyang 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 12. So, 3, 6, 9, 12. Then, plus 2. So, meron din siyang 14. So, that proves na si 2,3-dimethylbutane is one of the isomer of your hexane. Okay, next is your 2,2-dimethylbutane. Sir, bakit 2,2? Tignan niyo yung positioning ng dalawang alkyl group. Anong alkyl group yun? That is your methyl, di ba? That is your methyl. So, nasa second carbon sila. So, 2,2-dimethylbutane. Sir, bakit butane? Tignan yung parent chain ulit. Parent chain is the longest one. So, saan? Saan ang longest chain? So, eto yun, no? Yan. Longest chain. Yan. Sorry, na bura. Yan. Basta yun yung longest chain. Okay? Okay, what are the physical properties of your alkanes? So, of course, alkanes are nonpolar. Nonpolar, so have the lowest boiling point because only the weak dispersion forces are present in nonpolar alkanes. Okay? Boiling point for normal alkanes with straight chain. So, paano? So, pag mas mataas ang molecular weight, that conforms also to higher boiling point. Tignan nyo. Because larger molecules have greater surface contact between molecules, so it would have greater dispersion forces than smaller molecules. So, ano ang mas ano yung mas mataas ang boiling point? For example, si methane or si propane. Sabi niya, higher molecular weight also has higher boiling point. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? So, ang mas mataas, of course, is your kung sino din ang mas mataas ang number of carbon. So, sino yun? That is your ano na example ko? But for example, your methane and your propane. So, anong mas mataas ang boiling point? Of course, your propane. Kasi mas madami siyang molecular weight because it has more number of atoms. Diba? Okay, for branch alkanes naman, pag mas madaming branching, mas mababa naman yung boiling point. Because it lowers the surface contact between molecules, so it would have lesser dispersion force than the normal alkane. For example, we have here your example kanina, your branch chain. For example, your 2-methylpentane. Okay? 2-methylpentane has only one branch. That is your methyl. Compare mo sa 2,2-dimethyl or your 2,2-dimethyl butane. 2,2-dimethyl butane. So, ilan? So, ano yung mas mataas ang boiling point? Of course, your 2-methylpentane. Kasi, kapag mas madami ang branching mo, mas madami ang nakakabit sa'yo, mas mababa ang boiling point. So, kapag mas mababa ang nakakabit sa'yo, mas maliit or kokonti ang nakakabit sa'yo, meaning mas mataas ang boiling point. Gets niyo yan? Okay. So, parang ganito lang yan. Kung iisa lang siya, mataas ang pag-asa. Ganon. Na maging kayo forever. Pero pag madami sila, mas mababa ang chance na maging kayo forever. Di ba? Parang ganon. Next. Boiling point of some alkanes, of course. So, name is, and then structure and formula, and then your boiling point. Tignan nyo. Tignan nyo yung kanina, your statement there. Higher molecular weight has higher boiling point. Tignan nyo, your methane. Methane, yung boiling point niya is negative 162 degrees Celsius. Your ethane has negative 88. Your propane has negative 42. Your butane has 0. So, your pentane, of course, has 36 degrees Celsius. So, habang mas dumadami ang number of carbons na straight chain, that is, tumataas din yung boiling point. Okay? Your pentane. Tignan nyo yung pagkakaiba ng 2-methylbutane or your isopentane, 28. Diba? Isa lang ang branch. Diba? Isa lang ang branch, mataas ang boiling point. Nung naging dalawa ang branch, naging mas mababa yung boiling point. Did you get that? Did you get the trend? Okay. Okay. Next naman, the trends in melting point are not as regular as the trends in boiling points. This is because melting points depend not only on the size of the molecules, but also on how well the molecule fits in crystal lattice. Okay? Ulit. Basahin nyo ulit. Okay? The trends in melting point are not as regular as the trends in boiling points because of your molecular fitting sa crystal lattice. Okay. Okay? May sagot naman na siya. May sagot naman na siya. So, tignan nyo na lang kung bakit. I-prove nyo na lang kung bakit. Okay, arrange the five isomers of hexane according to the decreasing boiling point. So, let's see. Decreasing boiling point. Okay. So, from the 5 examples there, you are going to see number 1 as your hexane. Bakit? Kasi more ang molecular weight, highest din ang boiling point. Okay. Sir, bakit 3-methylpentane is number 2? Iisa ang branching. Okay? Ano pa? Sir, bakit 3? 2-methylpentane. Bakit number 3 ang 2-methylpentane? Because of the placement of your another carbon there. Naging 2-methylpentane. Diba? Next is your number 4 is your 2,3. 2,3-dimethylbutane. And then number 5 is your 2,2-dimethylbutane. Okay, tignan niyo yung placement ng carbon. Yun, yung mga alkyl group nila. Diba? Yun. Naging dun sa 2,2-dimethylbutane, naging condense masyado yung number 2 carbon. Diba? Okay. So, tignan natin. Okay, yan. Hexane having no branch has the greatest surface contact among its molecules. So, with the highest boiling point. Isomers with 2 side chains would have the lower boiling point than those with only 1 side chain because higher branching, lower ang surface contact. Between 2 and 3, that symmetrical 3-methane, tignan mo, the symmetrical 3-methylpentane would allow closer packing between molecules. This would result in stronger intermolecular forces. In the case of 2,2 and 2,3-dimethylbutane again, The latter, or the 2,3-dimethylbutane, which is more symmetrical, would allow closer contact, resulting in stronger intramolecular force and higher boiling point. Okay? Did you get that? So, ulitin ko, between 2 and 3-methylpentane, the symmetrical 3-methylpentane would allow closer packing between molecules. Tingnan natin. Yan. Yung 3, tignan nyo to. Closer packing. Kaya siya number 2. Closer packing. Yan. 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 Closer packing. Okay? That one. Sorry, medyo magulo yung kanya. Okay? And then sa 2, dun sa 2, ayaw. And then sa 2,3-dimethylbutane, the latter, or the 2,3-dimethylbutane, which is more symmetrical, would allow closer contact, resulting in stronger intramolecular force and higher boiling point. Okay. To confirm the answer, of course, yan. So, hexane, 68.9, 3-methylpentane, 63.3 degrees Celsius, and then 2-methylpentane, because of the intermolecular forces, stronger intramolecular forces, of course, mas malaki yung boiling point mo. Okay, so last is your 2,2-dimethylbutane. Did you get that? Okay. Okay, we have here your physical properties. Your physical properties of alkanes. Your physical properties of alkanes, of course, your solubility. Wait lang. We have here your solubility. Okay. Sorry, minum ako. We have here your solubility. So, syempre, of course, being non-polar molecules, alkanes don't dissolve in polar solvents. But they dissolve in non-polar solvents. That is the rule. Sabi niya, like dissolves like. So, non-polar dissolves non-polar, and polar dissolves polar. Okay? So, density. The density of your alkanes, of course, increase with the size but tends to level off at 0.8 grams per ml. So, it is less dense than water. So, pag syempre less dense than water, it will float in water since it contains only carbon and your hydrogen. Of course, we have here your general rule. In order to be denser than water, compound must contain heavy atoms like bromine, iodine, or several chlorine atoms. Okay, of course, alkanes are sometimes referred to as your paraffins. Guys, tandaan niyo yan ha. Paraffins, board exam question, alkanes is also called as your paraffins. A word derived from the Latin parum affinis, meaning slightly affinity. This term aptly describes their behavior, for alkanes show little chemical affinity for other substances and are inert to most laboratory reagents. Tandaan nyo, alkanes is also referred as to paraffins, parum affinis. Okay? Okay, so we have here your preparation of alkanes. Of course, we have here your number 1 is your hydrogenation of your alkenes. So we have here from unsaturated to saturated. Okay? Siyempre, yung tinatawag nilang addition reaction. Tignan nyo. From alkene, the general formula for alkene is your CnH2n through your through your, what do we call that, catalyzing agents, your hydrogen atom and your nickel, your palladium and platinum, coming up with your alkane already, which has the chemical formula or general formula of your CnH2n plus 2. Diba? So, example is your tatlong carbon, nasaan yung double bond? So, that is your, so that is your propene. Diba? That is your propene. So, bakit propene? Kasi, tatlo, diba? So, may double bond, so, in. Okay, that is your propene. Bakit, sir, hindi prop-1-in? Kasi nga, 1 na yon. Okay, 1. So, hindi na kailangang ilagay. Okay, yung kwan ng double bond. So, that is your propene. Okay, with your catalyzing agent, your hydrogen ions, and then your nickel, palladium, and platinum, converting you with, naging yung hydrogen, yung double bond, naging what? Hydrogen atoms, conforming you to what? To your propane already. Diba? Gets yung reaction? Okay? So, yung double bond dito, natanggal. Ang sabi nga dun sa addition reaction from unsaturated hydrocarbon to saturated hydrocarbon. So, hydrogenation of alkanes. So, yan. Yan yung double bond mo. That is your double bond. Yan. Dito, natanggal yung double bond, naging hydrogen atom. Okay? That is the reaction because of your catalyzing agents. Okay. Next is your Next is your Yan. Next is your reduction of alkyl halides. Okay, reduction of your alkyl halides. Your HOH of your Grignard reagent. So, meron tayo dito. Reaction is your alkyl. Pag sinabing R, that is your alkyl already. Rx plus Mg or your magnesium. Okay, so plus the catalyzing agent there first is your ether, forming you an alkyl magnesium or your Grignard reagent, alkyl magnesium halide. So your X is your halogen. Pag sinabing halide, that composed of your halogen. Okay? So, from Grignard reagent, dinagdagan mo siya ng Grignard reagent, alkyl magnesium halide, dinagdagan mo siya ng tubig, forming you an alkane plus magnesium hydroxide and then your halide or your halogen. Okay, so meron tayong Grignard reagent. There is an organometallic compound prepared by standing your alkyl and halide in dry ethyl ether. Okay, dry ethyl ether over magnesium. The solution is cloudy, begins to boil, and magnesium gradually disappear. Note, not only HOH or your water, as long as H is attached to oxygen or nitrogen, which is more acidic, can decompose your Grignard reagent. Guys, board exam question, Grignard reagent. Tandaan nyo, RMGX. What is R? That is your alkyl group. and your magnesium, and X is your halide. Okay? X is your halogen. Okay? Example is your, what do you call that? Your, meron siyang iodine. So, that is your 2-iodo-propane. Kasi tatlo. Plus magnesium. So, ano na yon? So, that's your tatlo. Your R is yun. And then your tagdahan mo ng tubig. Okay, parent chain. Tubig. Then, naging what? Naging CH3, CH2. CH3. So, that is your propane. Okay? Okay. So, this is your already your your 2-iodo-propane, and this is your Grignard reagent, alkyl, magnesium halide already. Diba? And then, forming you, what? Your, yan. Meron na tayong CH3, CH2, and then your CH3 plus magnesium hydroxide iodide. Okay? So, meron tayo ditong propane na nabuo. That is your water of Grignard reagent. Okay. Example is your 2-iodo-propane. Okay. Reduction of metal and acid. Of course, meron tayong alkyl and then your halide also. Then zinc plus hydrogen atom. So, forming you what? Your alkane already. Alkane plus zinc plus halide. Example is your, ano to? Your 1, 2. 2-chloro-isopropane, di ba? 2-chloro-isopropane. So, forming you what? Your meron tayo dito, CH3, CH2, then CH3, forming your isopropane, di ba? Isopropane plus zinc, and then your chlorine. Tandaan nyo, reduction of metal and acid composes of your alkyl and then your halide, alkyl halide plus your zinc plus hydrogen, forming you an alkene plus zinc plus halogen, free halogen. So, in your example, we have there your 2-chloro-isopropane, di ba? 2-chloro-isopropane. So, meron tayo dito naging isopropane, di ba? Naging isopropane, so, plus zinc and your chlorine. You get that? Okay. Next is your WURTZ synthesis. WURTZ synthesis example. So, meron tayong two atoms. 2 atoms of your alkyl plus your halogen. Then, 2 sodium atom. So, meron ang catalyzing agent natin for the reaction is your dry ether, forming you an alkene already, and then your 2 sodium and then halide. Okay, so example is that your 2 atoms of your 2-ethane, 2-chloroethane, di ba? 2 atoms of your 2-chloroethane plus 2 sodium. Of course, your catalyzing agent is your dry ether, forming you what? 1, 2, 3, 4, apat. So, that is your butane already. Plus 2 sodium aning nandun sa dun sa reactant na halogen. So, chlorine, that's your chlorine. Very good. So, that's your chlorine. So, ang madadagdag sa product, of course, is your chlorine. Okay, so 2 sodium chloride. Did you get that? That is your WURTZ synthesis. Okay, we have your reaction of alkanes. So, referred to as paraffins. Of course, alkanes is also called as your paraffins, diba? From Latin word parum affinis, which means not enough affinity, name given to describe the low reactivity of alkanes because of their chemically inert towards common reagents. Okay, don't react with ordinary acids like hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, nor with common oxidizing agents such as your potassium permanganate. React readily with superacids. Of course, pag sinabi nating superacids, okay, pag sinabi natin superacids, that is yung mga, for example, is your acetic acids, no? Can be burned at elevated temperature and they react with halogens under certain conditions. So, pag sinabi natin halogenation, that is your requires heat or light. Pag sinabi natin halogenation ulit, requires heat or light. Pag sinabi natin combustion, requires spark or flame. Okay? Requires spark or flame, that is your combustion. Pag sinabing natin halogenation, that is your requiring heat or light. Okay, first is your combustion of alkanes. Guys, tandaan ha. Combustion of alkanes. So, we have here CnH2n plus 2. So, that is the regular, what do we call that? General formula of your alkane. Plus 3n plus 1 over 2 oxygen, diba? And then, your catalyzing is your, of course, doon sa pag sinabi natin combustion, your spark or flame. So, produce tayo ng what? Ng N carbon dioxide plus N plus 1 water plus heat. So, tignan natin on your example, of course, pag sinabi natin i-combust natin, so we are going to react for combustion si methane. So, what is the formula? Of course, CH4. So, that is the chemical formula or the molecular formula of your what? Of your methane plus 3. Aning N? So, yung N is number of carbon. So, 1 plus 1 over 2. That is your, okay, oxygen. Through spark flame, perform tayo ng aning N, number of carbon, 1 carbon dioxide plus ano. So, aning N? N isa, then plus 1, so naging 2 water plus heat. Gets niyo yun? So, for example, so, ang ginamit nila dito, tignan nyo dito sa formula. Tignan nyo yung formula dito. So, look at the N's. Yung number of yung N. Diba? You just substitute the number of N here. Diba? N. 3N plus 1. So, 3 isa. Plus 1 over 2. 2. Yan. And then, N na naman isa. And then, N na naman isa plus isa. So, naging dalawang tubig plus heat. Okay? Did you get that? Okay. Yan. Next tayo. Saan na? Next tayo. Malapit na. Next. Yan. So, for example, yan. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, apat. No? So, ang nangyari lang dyan, they just, what? They just balance the equation. Okay, through the product. And your, yan, binalance lang yan. Okay? 3 plus 4 plus, ilan yan? Plus 1. Yan. Medyo hindi kasi balance, no? Kaya binalance yung equation natin. Okay? Yan. Okay. Next is your halogenation of alkanes. So, substitution. Alkanes react with halogens, chlorine, bromine to produce the corresponding chloroalkanes or your alkyl chlorides or bromoalkanes, alkyl bromide only in the presence of UV light or at temperature of 250 to 400 degrees Celsius. Okay, so accompanied by the formation of your hydrochloric acid and hydrobromic acid. Fluorine is very reactive, so to produce analogous results, it is made to react under controlled conditions like dilution of the reaction mixture with inert gas. Iodine is very unreactive or may not react at all. So, may not react at all, that is your iodine. Okay? So, we have here your halogenation of alkanes. So, pag sinabing substitution from, paano yan? So, you are just going to substitute the, what? Okay, so from an alkane plus an halide through UV light or 250 to 400 degrees Celsius, magiging alkyl halide. Diba? Plus an acid. So, halogenation involves the substitution of the H atom in an alkene by a halogen. So, tignan nyo. So, we have here the example. So, that is your methane plus your chlorine. So, through your UV light or 250 to 400 degrees Celsius, forming you what? Your chloromethane plus your hydrochloric acid. You get that, ha? Okay, predicting halogenation products for higher or complex alkanes. So, paano yan? So, halogenation of pentane with chlorine. So, halogenation. So, chlorine, pag dinagdag is chlorine, that is your chlorination. So, of course, sa pentane, meron tayo, pwede nating idagdag yung chlorine doon sa 1-chloropentane or simply just say chloropentane. Pwede din sa 2-chloropentane. Then pwede rin sa third carbon forming yung 3-chloropentane. Okay, so factors of relative yield. So we have here first is your probability factor. Depend on the number of each type of hydrogen atom in alkane starting molecule. So we have here percent yield factor. So halogen is, sa halogen sa tertiary is 5. Sa secondary is 3.5. Sa primary is 1. Si bromine naman sa tertiary, ang percent yield factor niya is 1,600. Tertiary, 1,600. Sa secondary is 82. So, sa primary is your 1. Okay? Primary. Ayun. Sinasabi niyan, primary, secondary, and tertiary, that's your carbon. Number. Placement of carbon. Is of abstraction of hydrogen atom is your susceptibility of a hydrogen atom to replacement by a halogen atom. So, susceptibility of hydrogen atom to replacement by a halogen atom decreases from tertiary. Okay, easiest to replace is your tertiary to primary, difficult to replace. So, 2CH3H. Classification, C atoms primary attached to only one other carbon. So, attached to only one other carbon. That is your primary. Okay. Next is your secondary. Yan, secondary. Which is, this would be your primary already. This would be your primary. This would be your secondary already. Okay. So, tertiary naman. Yan. Tertiary. Tertiary attached to 3 other carbon. So, your hydrogen is attached to 3 other more carbon. So, yan, tatlo. Or tatlo. Yan. Okay. So, quaternary naman, attached to 4 other carbon. So, pag sinabing tertiary, tatlo. Secondary, dalawa lang yung other atom. Pag primary, tatlo yung other atom. Pag quaternary, 4 na puro carbon. Attached to 4 other carbon. So, each atoms, primary attached to first primary carbon, secondary attached to secondary carbon, tertiary attached to tertiary carbon. Example is your yan. So, primary. Yan. Yan, primary because, isa lang yung, why primary is this one? Primary. Bakit, sir? Kasi sabi niya is, yung carbon attached lang sa isang carbon and then, mayroon siyang tatlong other carbon. That is your hydrogen. Sir, bakit tertiary? Dito. Kasi naka-attach siya sa tatlong other more carbon. Wala tayong 4. Yan, ito sana. Kung may isa dito, that is your quaternary. Okay? Yan. Chlorination and bromination. Both yield similar mixtures of products, but relative amounts of products differ markedly depending on whether the halogen used is chlorine or bromine. Of course, your bromination, one product predominates to such an extent as to be almost the only product, 97 to 99%. Select only the easiest, most reactive hydrogen to replace. Chlorination, no single product greatly predominates, not selective, more reactive than bromine. Okay, so examples are your predict halogenation products as well as percent yield of the given alkanes. So, meron tayo dito, pag primary, so 6/13, back siya 13, because meron siyang 6 plus 7. So, di ba? Kapag primary, that's your 1. Okay, kapag secondary, that is your what? 3.5 sa chlorine, di ba? Sa chlorine. Okay, so meron tayong 13. So, 6/13 times 100, that's 46%. 7, yung sa secondary, 7/13 times 100, 54%. Okay, so where did you get that, sir? Tignan mo. Yan, sa primary. 1, 2, 3. That is your, diba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yan. 6. Yan. 6. And then, yung secondary mo is 2. Yan lang, oh. Yan. Yan. 2. Sa 2 secondary. Okay? So, 6/13 times 100, 46%, 54%, yielding you 100%, of course. Next is your, an example, ulit, natin, is your bromine. Sir, bakit 82? Tignan mo. Doon sa, ano yan? Yan, 82, yung secondary. 3.5 si chlorine. Si bromine, 82. So, ilan ang attach na bromine? 2 din. 6 din ang primary carbon mo. And then, yan. Diba? Gets nyo yun? 6 plus 106 plus 170. Chlorination depends on the probability factor, therefore bromination strictly follows tertiary to primary. So, yung chlorine and bromine, the probability factor, please tandaan nyo yun, ha? Tandaan. Okay, we have here cycloalkanes. So, saturated hydrocarbons, last na to, containing ring of carbon atoms, general formula, that is your CnH2n. Okay, ranges from ring size of 3 to 30 are found in nature. Of course, we have here your example. Guys, tandaan ha, CnH2n, para siyang alkene. Okay, but here is your cycloalkane. For example, is your C3H6. So, pag sinabing C3H6, that is your cyclopropane. Sir, bakit cyclopropane? Kasi, ayan o, 1, 2, 3. Para siyang triangle. So, pag 4 naman, that is your cyclo. Pag 4 na carbon, of course, that is your cyclobutane. Pag 5, of course, that is your cyclopentane. Okay? Pansinin ha. Sir, paano? C3H6. Sir, paano siya? Okay, let's discuss about the general formula. So, Cn, meron tayong 3. So, C3. Okay? C3H2. H2, ilan na ngayon? 3. So, 2 times 3, that is your 6, no? So, C3H6. So, CH2, CH2, CH2. Yan. Cyclopropane. Okay. Sorry. Carbon atoms usually aren't shown. Instead, a carbon atom is assumed to be at the intersection of 2 lines. Tandaan to. Intersection of 2 lines. Okay, intersection of 2 lines, bonds, and at the end of each line. Occasionally, a carbon atom might be indicated for emphasis or clarity. No? Okay, so hydrogen atoms bonded to carbon aren't shown. So, because carbon always has a valence of 4, we mentally supply the correct number of hydrogen atom for each carbon. Okay? So, all atoms other than carbon and hydrogen are shown. Okay. Okay, example is your cyclopropane. Yan. Tignan nyo dito, hindi na siya kailangan lagyan pa ng CH2, no? Just simply write that, no? Skeletal structures can be used in both open chain and ring structures. So, meron tayo dito, for example, is your 2-methyl-butane butane. Para siyang skeleton, no? Skeletal structure ang tawag dyan. So, whenever your nomenclature, of course, add cyclo to the name of the alkene containing same number of carbon atoms. If there are substituents, use cycloalkane as base name. Compounds are normally named as alkyl substituted cycloalkane. However, the alkyl side chain contains greater number of carbon atoms than the ring. The compound is named as cycloalkyl substituted alkane. Okay. Number the substituent on the ring so as to arrive at the lowest sum. When two or more different groups are present, they are arranged alphabetically. Halogen are treated exactly like alkyl group. For example, is your 1-ethyl cyclopropane. So, 1-ethyl because of the branch chain, anong branch chain or your alkyl group na nakakabit dalawang carbon. So, that is your ethyl. Diba? 1-ethyl cyclopropane. So, ito yung isa is 1,2,3. 1,2,3 trimethyl cyclobutane. Then, yung isa is your, okay, ang naka-branch dyan is your, propyl, diba? 2-cyclopropyl butane. Diba? Ito ang naka-branch ito ang cyclopropyl mo. Nakakabit kay second carbon ng butane mo. Diba? So, that is called your 2-cyclopropyl butane. Okay? Lapit na. Reactions of your cycloalkanes undergo like alkanes, free radical substitution, halogenation, and combustion. That's all. End of chapter 3. So, please prepare for assignments, quizzes, and your activities. I am going to give it to you mamaya. Okay? Just be updated sa messenger nyo or sa group chat natin. Thank you and God bless. Ingat!